Do your players need an ego check? Are they constantly ignoring you when asked, "Are you sure?" Worst of all, do you have a druid in the group? Sounds like you need a Kraken. Terrors of the Deep and Slayers of D&D party since 1976. Toss one of these bad boys at your players and they're guaranteed to change their ways. Or maybe just die. Don't believe me? Here's everything a Kraken has to offer. Every good lawyer knows that no case will be perfect. There will always be some give and take as both sides go at it. With the release of D&D's newest monster manual, the Kraken is more formidable than ever. Though there are some trade-offs. Its HP went up, which is always great, and its con saves are higher too. Though its intelligence saves did go down a bit, no big deal. It's now immune to cold damage, in addition to lightning and a host of conditions, but did lose its immunity to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. But hey, if your party wants to bring a knife to a Kraken fight, that's fine by me. Regardless of those little changes, the Kraken stats are impressive to say the least, and one area where this Big Squid's Law game has undeniably improved is initiative. Getting the opening remarks can be crucial to quickly swinging the case in your favor, but before, the Kraken got an astounding +0 to their initiative. Not anymore. They now roll with a +14, almost guaranteeing they'll get the drop on your players. And as you'll see, there are lots more improvements to come. When you've won as many cases as this guy has, you're bound to get a reputation. As a legendary lawyer, they get access to both legendary actions and resistances, 3 and 4 respectively. But that's only if they face your party on neutral ground. Step into the Kraken's law firm and things get tougher. When inside their lair, you can add an extra one of both those legendary abilities. You think you're beating a Kraken in front of their hometown judge? Please. When a Kraken's on the case, it's all hands on deck. But by hands, of course, I mean tentacles. 10 to be exact. And they can attack with 3 on any given turn. These suckers have a range of 30 feet, a +17 to hit, and now deal an extra d6 damage. Plus, whatever poor defendant gets grabbed is automatically grappled and restrained. And the escape DC got a buff too, going from 18 to 20. But that's not all. This oppressive octopus isn't a one-trick pony. They have all sorts of legal options to work with. Each turn, they can replace a tentacle attack with one of the following. First, they can fling a large creature. Wait, only large? Not large or smaller? The Kraken throws a large creature grappled by it. Huh. But PCs can't even be large. But whatever. In the true spirit of being a lawyer, we're going to ignore that bit of evidence and just say they can fling PCs too. Instead of chucking them in a random direction like the Kraken of old, now they can choose a spot to toss them, including into other players. Both make a DC 25 dex save or take 48 bludgeoning damage, half on a success. Ouch. Second, they can conjure a bolt of lightning, threatening a player with 6d10 lightning damage if they fail their save. And that target just has to be seen by the Kraken and within 120 feet, a much better ranged option than anything it had before. And finally, working a case takes a lot of energy, and the Kraken needs a snack. Before it had to choose between using its tentacles or trying to munch on a player. Now it can do both on the same turn, forcing any grappled victim to make a DC 25 dex save at disadvantage because they're restrained, or get swallowed whole. Sure, they take less acid damage inside the Kraken's stomach now, but that's well worse getting to use this more often at less of a cost. No matter how you slice it, this prosecutor knows how to get a conviction, and they always go for life. But remember, this is a legendary lawyer here, and their cross-examination skills are some of the best in the game. They have 2 legendary actions to choose from between your players' turns. First, they can use one to conjure a bolt of lightning, like the attack I mentioned before. In the past, it cost 2 legendary actions to make 3 weaker bolts. Now it can pick and choose how many it would like. Second is its ink cloud. Again, you might think you know this one, because the old Kraken could do it too. And while the area of effect was bigger, it cost all 3 of its legendary actions, only dealt an average of 16 poison damage, and only if a creature ended its turn in the cloud. Not very exciting. Now it affects anyone within 15 feet of the beast. They're both blinded and poisoned if they fail to save, and to top it all off, the Kraken can then move up to its full speed, all for just 1 legendary action. It can only do it once per round, but if they're duking it out with the monster in its lair, it can create 3 lightning bolts and make an ink cloud all in 1 round. That's incredible value. Disclaimer, the Kraken's ink cloud only works underwater. No downsides at all. With all that said, if your players are stupid enough to try and sue the Kraken in an underwater case, they're done for. Couple everything you just heard with the fact that unless they have a swim speed, unlikely, most of their attacks will be at disadvantage, they'll be moving at half speed, and the Kraken will be zooming around 120 feet per turn. On dry land, maybe they could get away with a plea deal or some community service, but in the water, they won't need to worry about jail time, because they'll be dead. But even the best lawyers have flaws, and the Kraken is no exception. If you want the best results for your case, keep these in mind. The Kraken underwater is near unbeatable, but if your players are on land or atop a boat, it's not as formidable. Consider using those tentacles to its advantage. Grab a player or two, and then dive under. Now the rest of the party have a choice. Do they jump in and risk death below the waves, or try to fight from above while their friends are becoming dinner? There's no good option, which is the point. Second, while the Kraken can swallow up to 4 creatures at a time, be careful. Once in the belly of the beast, they're safe from all its other attacks, and 24 acid damage each round isn't that much for a high-level character, and they're no longer blinded like the Kraken of old, so despite being restrained, a wizard can still blast it with spells. Krakens do have an intelligence of 22, so consider picking and choosing who to swallow and when. Leaving some players to deal with the tentacles and lightning bolts while the paladin and fighter have to hack their way out at disadvantage isn't a bad idea. Other than that, make sure you prepare backup characters for your party. They'll be needing them shortly. If you want to put the fear of the gods in your players in the form of killing all their characters without mercy, then you need a Kraken. Sure, some people might call it bad form to send a Kraken after your party just because they didn't take notes last session, but those people are weak and you are strong. When other lawyers are clearly slacking, know you can always count on a Kraken. The Kraken is not liable for any lightning strikes, tentacle bruising, or drowning that occurs while working a case. Payment should be made in the form of sunken treasure, delivered directly to the bottom of the ocean, or by mail-in. The Kraken does not accept cases involving desert landscapes, legendary artifacts, or wild magic sorcerers, so at your own risk. Oh, and crit your players.